You've lost your other half to suicide. Now what? Hi, I'm Jeff Jackson, and I counsel people who've lost someone they love to suicide. If you've lost your spouse or your boyfriend or girlfriend to suicide, then I want to talk to you about that particular kind of loss. And this is one I can speak to from personal experience because I lost my wife to suicide many years ago. That's what started me on this path of learning and sharing about suicide. Now, you and I have a lot in common with anyone who's lost someone to suicide, but losing a life partner has some very unique aspects to it. First of all, you were at ground zero, meaning there may have been nobody closer to them than you. You may have been the first person to learn about their suicide. Maybe you're even the one who found them. But most importantly, you were there for every day of their struggle leading up to their suicide. And that may make you feel uniquely responsible. You might be thinking, if anyone should have known what they were thinking and was in a position to prevent it, it was me. Now, maybe you knew what they were going through, maybe you didn't. People suffering from a suicidal condition are often very good at hiding it. Maybe you had a general sense there was something wrong, but not that it would lead to this. Or maybe you knew full well what they were struggling with because they told you. But it doesn't matter what you knew or when you knew it. What matters is that the feeling you're feeling, that you were uniquely empowered to stop it, is false. You were powerless to stop this. Maybe you might have been able to alter the timeline a little, but that likely would not have changed the ultimate outcome for them. People who suffer from this unique disorder, and I explain the disorder in other videos, are very persistent in their compulsion to end the pain that is their everyday life. However, another thing that is unique to partners is something that we rarely consider, and it's this. We did not know them their entire life. I don't care if you were married to someone for 30 years, you still weren't there for their childhood, and probably not their adolescence either. They lived an entire life before they met you. So while you may have been at the center of their lives recently, you weren't there for the whole thing, and there's probably a lot of clues and warning signs that happened in those years that you just weren't around to witness. So give yourself a break in taking on that responsibility of being the one that needed to save them. Another thing that's unique to losing a partner is that when you and your person decided to intertwine your lives, whether that's by marriage or a living arrangement or just exclusivity, there's an implied contract to that you only make big life decisions together. You wouldn't up and buy a house or relocate or even get a dog without consulting your partner. Yet here they've gone and made a decision, one that ends your relationship with them and completely turns your life upside down, and they did it without consulting you. And if that makes you angry, that's okay. Spouses and partners tend to feel anger toward the person they lost more than with other types of relationships. It may feel as if they've effectively dumped you or divorced you, again, without even a conversation about it. And if you do feel anger towards them, you may then inevitably feel guilty about feeling that anger. But feeling anger or any emotion in the aftermath of a suicide loss is okay. It's natural. It's expected. Everyone in the same situation feels the same way, and you need to let yourself feel those emotions without suppressing them. But when you come up for air, I want you to focus on this. Their suicide was not a decision, and it was not a choice, not really. People who die by suicide were very likely suffering for a long time with a brain chemistry disorder that made their everyday life absolute agony. And that pain was so all-consuming that by the end, they didn't have any mental bandwidth left to think about you, your life together, or any plans you made. Not because they didn't love you or care about you or wanted to hurt you. They just couldn't see you or anyone or anything else. Their inner torment was that blinding. Lastly, partners face the challenge of finding new partners. I know this is tough to even think about. In the early days of your grief, even entertaining the idea may feel like a betrayal. But there's a fundamental reality that we need to face, particularly if you're still relatively young like I was. When we enter a relationship, we hope and intend for it to last forever. But we also understand somewhere deep down that it might not. So it's perfectly okay and perfectly normal to one day seek out a new partner. Now, I caution you not to rush. I've seen people try that and it rarely goes well. But by the same token, you should never say never. There will never be another person like the one you lost because they were unique. We all are. But that doesn't mean you can't find love again in a new and different way with someone else who brings something meaningful into your life, no matter your age. When the time is right, you'll know. Just not too soon, but not never either. If you feel this video brought you some clarity, I have others that go deeper and explore other topics like if you're the one who found them and what to do about the house. Please check them out and subscribe or follow.